Well, hello, everybody. It's Brother Todd with your Victory Minute. I hope you guys are all having a great day. As I sit here in my little pickup truck, it's Friday afternoon. I very seldom do a Victory Minute on Friday because it's hard for me to get them onto the internet on Saturday. I may get Brother John to hook me up tomorrow. If not, you might be seeing this the first part of what I'd call next week right now. Lord tarries is coming. The reason I went ahead and made it was I've been studying on this little minute for about, 45 minutes to an hour. See, I'm just coming in from working out. And I got back in after the COVID stuff here a little bit. Got to kind of lifting around some. And I got tickled at myself today. It made me think about this Victory Minute. I was laying on the ground doing what they call floor press, which is where you kind of do a bench press, except you're laying on the floor and you let your elbows come down against the floor. Well, let's just say old Brother Todd's older now, and let's just say old Brother Todd been out the gym for a little bit. Let's just say old Brother Todd is probably about maybe 25-30% as strong as he was, okay? So I'm laying there doing this floor press, and I got tickled at myself because at first I was mad because I saw the amount of weight that's on that bar. And then I was about half afraid one of these bubbas is going to walk around the corner and see the amount of weight that I had on that bar. It's just absolute embarrassment. And I thought to myself, I said, Bubba, you got to remember something. And what I got to remembering made me think about what might make y'all a decent Victory Minute, or maybe food for thought. And what I remembered was I learned a long time ago, you're not lifting against other people in the gym. You're lifting against the guys looking at you in the mirror. You're not lifting against anybody else, because there'll always be somebody weaker and there'll always be somebody stronger. You gotta remember what you're doing things for, and that is to make an improvement from where you are. And I thought about the reality, whether it's in spiritual things or physical things, that'll get you stuck in life. So here's what I'm gonna say to you, maybe it'll be a little help. Two things can get you. One is regret over missed opportunity, regret over missed days. Like me laying there on that floor thinking, Lord help, you hadn't missed basically a year in the gym, you wouldn't be this weak right now. But truth is, you can't do anything about the past. Solomon said, don't say that the former days were better than these. This isn't wise. Because the reality is you can't live in the then. You got to live in the right now. I may not ever be, and probably won't be as strong as I once was. Definitely won't be as strong as I was when I was young. But I can be stronger than I am now. I can be in better shape than I am now. And you got to deal with the now. The other thing that'll get you outside of regret is a recognition that you're not as perfected as you ought to be. The recognition that you're behind, the recognition that you've wasted days and times. It can get depressing. A regret because you're not where you ought to be, a recognition that you're not as perfected as you want to be or could be. This is true in spiritual things, physical things, emotional things, relational things, whatever. Now that I say that, I may have said in the last Victory Minute 4 areas of your life. I think I misspoke one. You've got your spiritual, you've got your physical, you've got your mental, and you got your relational. And mental and emotional kind of go together, and I probably separated them and didn't say physical. Any of those things can pull you down. One of the reasons I still try to work out is because if you don't feel good physically, it's that much harder to stay feeling good mentally and in relationships and even spiritually. Again, your spiritual life can carry you. I've seen people living in great joy absolutely racked in pain by bone cancer. And physically they were very low, but spiritually and mentally and in their relationships could be very, very, very strong. God will give you that. Don't let your gas tanks get empty. But even whether it's something as, Paul said, bodily exercise profiteth little, but it does profit. Everything you can do to kind of help. So I was thinking a lot about the reality in our spiritual lives. We can be so upset over regret, things that we've done that have put us behind, things that disqualify us, and those kinds of things. But the reality is, you're not living today based on what you were. You have God's grace, and you have the opportunity to do something right now. Let me see if I can get that dim that thing down and shake for you. I tell people all the time, y'all probably heard me say it, I love the verse, a living dog is better than a dead lion. And I ain't nothing but an old dog now. But I'm here. I can do something, right? And don't get overwhelmed by the fact that things are not perfected. None of us are as perfected yet as we ought to be, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. But you can do something with where you are. Remember, God's not going to ask you to be something that you're not. He's not going to deal with you in today based on the potential that you had when you were young. If you miss those days and you miss that potential, listen, God knows that, and He'll deal with you right where you are now. But the real reason I made this minute is that if you get hung living in, well, things ain't what they ought to be, I'm not going to be tomorrow what I could have been, or yesterday's done and now I'm old and all that, and you get bogged down, what it'll do is it'll keep you from living in right now. If you've heard me preach very much, you've heard me say this: old people like to live in the past, and young people like to live in the future. But great people live in the right now. It's easy for a kid as a junior in high school to say, I'm going to go be an astronaut, and settle for something else because it ends up being too hard. And that's why, old man syndrome, the older we get, the better we were. We have a real selective memory. And so we tend to glamorize the past. I was sitting with my granddaddy years ago, a little old steakhouse in Kaufman called the Wagon Wheel. It's gone now. And there was two guys that was about my granddaddy's age, a little older, and they was going on about how much better things was in the day and all this kind of stuff. And my granddaddy kind of leaned across the table and he said, now there's two guys that's forgotten what kind of a blessing indoor plumbing and air conditioning is. They wasn't talking about them outhouses and not having no air conditioning when it's 110 degrees around Dallas, Texas. And you say you got to realize where you're at right now, because in the right now you've got opportunity, and you can't get overwhelmed. I'm gonna tell you, it was hard for me to walk in that gym today, and I was about half mad at myself walking out. But you know what? I'll be stronger tomorrow than I was today because I put in effort. It's not where I'm going to get, Lord willing. It's not where I've been, but it is, I can do something with where I am right now. If you wasn't the best parent in the world, well, let that motivate you into being the best grandparent in the world. If you hadn't been the best student, you can finish strong. You in college now, and you barely got through high school, but you know what? I've seen a lot of folks be C average people in high school and catch a gear, learn how to learn, get serious about things, and run, be summa cum laude in college. You just got to do something with where you are now. Say, Brother Todd, I look around, man, you don't know what I'm dealing with. I'm in debt. I got these kids running around here. Man, this is not what I intended it to be. Well, amen. I've been there. But you know what? You just got to knuckle up and do something with the chance you've got. And do something with even the days you got, even as difficult as they are. I'll leave you this story. It just hit my head. I hadn't even thought about it. My granddaddy, Peavy, died when I was 2. Had got saved and stuff later in life, and I may have talked a little bit about him on these minutes, but he come down with brain cancer. And about the time that my dad got back from Vietnam, and of course my grandpa was a World War II veteran, but they told him back then there wasn't much they could do with it, and they said, we do this surgery on you, it might give you 6 months. And there was, a whole lot of getting over it and all that kind of stuff, and he wasn't sure if he's going to do it, and he was talking to the family, this and that, He said, I don't think I'm going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. And my mama said, my daddy looked at him and said, well, I know a lot of men that'd like to have 6 more months. And got up and walked out the room. And they said, Grandpa Peavy looked at him and said, you know what, he's right. I got now. I can do something with right now. Grandma Peavy told me later in life that the best time that him and her ever had in their life was those last 6 months. Gotta do something with your right now. Right now. Go be a daddy and mama to them babies. Go help somebody. Pick that Bible up. Say, Brother Todd, I'll never know the Bible what I ought to. Or, Brother Todd, I'm just so far behind and all that kind of stuff. You know what? So what? God knows right where you are. And let him start putting something into you that is stronger than your today. Make your tomorrow better than your today. Look at there. I just took 11 minutes to say that. Well, I'll try to do better next time. Y'all have a great day, weekend, whenever it is you see this. I hope God blesses you. Don't let the regret of the past, don't let the recognition of realizing that, you know what, we ain't none of us as far along as we ought to be, stop you from living life right now. God bless you. Bye-bye.